What's up, duders? Time for your daily dose of internet madness. Before we begin, let me just say, you ever read someone else's life story and think, wow, this is a disaster I can learn from without living through it? That's this one. Our OP typed all of this while the emotional equivalent of a fire alarm was going off in his soul. And me? I'm just the narrator sitting in the corner eating popcorn, crying, and occasionally yelling, buddy, no, stop doing that. But don't worry, we'll get through this together. Maybe even a little wiser. Maybe even entertained. Probably both. My family thinks I'm successful, but I'm actually losing everything. So, yeah, as the title says, I'm the success story of the family. At least, that's what everyone believes. At every holiday, I'm the one my mother brags about. I'm the one my cousins roll their eyes at. Big job in the city. Fancy apartment. 28 and already a project lead. He always lands on his feet. Family myth-making. The type that turns reality into a curated brochure. Except the truth is this, I'm losing everything. Literally and quietly. And I somehow became the best person I know at pretending the crashing noises behind me are just distant traffic. Let me back up. 3 years ago, I got a job at a rising tech company in Chicago. I'd never seen an office that clean or a paycheck that shiny. My parents cried like I'd just become a surgeon who cures loneliness. I moved into a high-rise rental with a river view. I bought a leather couch that came in 3 boxes I couldn't lift because I didn't realize couches cost more to ship assembled. My Instagram looked like the lifestyle the average motivational speaker would hold up as why you grind. No one saw the panic underneath. Yes, I was successful, but the job was demanding in a way that hurts your brain, not your back. If I answered work messages at midnight, that was dedication. If I took weekend calls, that was brilliant work ethic. If I didn't, the email started sounding pointed. Still, I told myself, that's life. This is adulthood. You don't get something for nothing. The main incident. 8 months ago, everything went sideways. The CEO called a structural pivot. No one knew what that meant, but we knew it wasn't good. Then came the layoffs. I wasn't laid off. Not at first. Instead, I was promoted. Which sounds good until you're buried under 20 people's responsibilities without 20 people's salaries. The job that used to take 50 hours now took 90. I stopped going to the gym. Stopped cooking. Stopped sleeping regularly. And when I did sleep, I dreamed in spreadsheets and deadlines. People asked how work was going, and I said what you're supposed to say. Busy, but good. It's wild how many lies fit into a 3-word sentence. After the so-called promotion, I moved deeper into survival mode. My landlord raised rent. My student loans came off deferment. The company kept promising raises next quarter, but my bank account laughed like a stressed-out hyena. I should have looked for another job then. I didn't, because when you're drowning slowly, you convince yourself the water level isn't rising. You're just getting taller. Then came the day I snapped. It started with a team meeting. My boss asked for changes on a project that was already due. When I said I'd need more time, he smiled the smile of a man who eats interns for breakfast. What I'm hearing is excuses. You ever feel so furious you go silent because speech isn't strong enough? That was me. But I still didn't quit. I still tried to power through. 2 months later, the company laid off another wave. This time, I wasn't safe. They called it parting ways. They told me I was valued but redundant. They handed me a severance packet while I sat there blinking like a glitching NPC. When I left the building, I realized I couldn't remember the last time I'd taken a walk outside during daylight. That was the first day I felt the world hit unpause. I walked home instead of taking the train. It was cold enough to freeze regret into little snowflakes. People rushed past, alive and in motion, while I carried 6 years of ambition in a cardboard box. That night, I sat on my expensive couch and realized I had built a life I couldn't afford without the job that had destroyed me. I wasn't just unemployed, I was underwater, and nobody knew. At this point, let's pause. Here's OP, sitting with a cardboard box like the world's saddest reality show contestant, and you're thinking, well, this can't get worse, right? Oh, sweet summer child. Also, can we appreciate the emotional whiplash? He goes from corporate burnout to walking home in weather that probably builds character through frostbite. I have half a mind to jump in and yell, sit down, drink cocoa, make logical decisions. But we keep going. After being laid off, I did what any logical adult would do. I panicked silently like a submarine with a leak. I applied to 100 jobs in 2 weeks. I updated my resume, LinkedIn, portfolio, and my sense of inadequacy. I got rejection emails that sounded like they were written by a therapist who didn't want to hurt my feelings. I tried to interview but realized I hadn't spoken to another human being about something that wasn't work-based panic in months. I was rusty. I rambled. I second-guessed every sentence. Rent came due. Health insurance premiums came due. Groceries became creative budgeting with canned goods. Still, my family thought I was thriving. My grandmother sent me a box of homemade brittle and a card that said, "So proud of you, superstar." I almost cried into the peanut brittle. No one in my family has money. I was supposed to be the one who made it, the one who changed the narrative, the one who finally stopped the generational "we tried but it didn't pan out." I couldn't bring myself to tell them the truth. So when Christmas came, I still flew home. At home, the myth of my success was stronger than ever. My uncle asked when I'd buy a house. I choked on my mashed potatoes and said something vague about market timing. My mom said she tells everyone at church how well I'm doing. I smiled. Inside, I felt like a prop. When my parents went to bed on Christmas Eve, I sat in the living room. The tree lights blinked like a heartbeat. For the first time, I imagined telling them the truth. And suddenly, the idea didn't feel like failure. It felt like relief, but I didn't say it then. I went back to Chicago and kept pretending. One night, about 3 weeks ago, my building manager taped a note to my door. "Balance overdue. 3-day notice before eviction filings." My hands shook as I read it. That was the moment I realized I wasn't managing the crisis. I was in freefall. I had $162 in my account. I sat on the floor and finally cried. Full on, messy, chest-heavy crying. The kind you can't hide, even from yourself. After I calmed down, I made the decision that changed everything. I called my parents. Not a text, not an email, a real call. My mom picked up and said, "Hey, everything okay?" And I said, "No, I need to tell you something." Then I told her everything. There was silence. Not judgment, not disappointment, just two parents processing the idea that their son wasn't invincible. My mom eventually said, "Come home." Not as punishment, as refuge. So I did. Last week, I broke the lease, sold most of my furniture, packed what I could, and moved back to my hometown. It was humiliating, humbling, healing. My parents hugged me like I'd been lost at sea. Update. So here's where I'm at now. I'm living in my childhood bedroom. The wall still has a faint square where my old video game poster hung. I'm applying to local jobs. I'm saving money. I'm eating meals at a kitchen table where people ask how I'm doing and actually want the real answer. It's weird. I wake up without a view of the river, but I also wake up without a fist around my lungs. I talk to my parents every day. We laugh more. I've had more conversations about real life in 3 weeks than in the last 3 years combined. And this will sound cheesy, but here's what I learned. Sometimes you don't need to win. Sometimes you need to stop losing in silence. I'm not back on my feet yet. I'm not even back to crawling, but I'm not hiding anymore. And that's progress. You know what I love about this story? It isn't about a guy who fixed everything with one inspirational speech or a power move. It's about somebody who finally said, "Help." We forget that survival isn't always climbing mountains. Sometimes it's stepping off the treadmill that's been running way too fast for way too long. And look, let's be honest, if you've ever built your personality around your accomplishments, failure feels like losing your identity. But here's the moral, kids. Your life is bigger than your resume. Your worth is bigger than your job title. And if you're drowning, the bravest thing you can do might be waving your arms and yelling, "Hey, someone throw a rope." In the end, our OP didn't just lose a job. He shed the weight of pretending. He learned that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's returning home, admitting you need support, and building again with people who see the human, not the highlight reel. If you take anything from this story, let it be this. No life is a straight upward graph. Sometimes the dip is where you learn to breathe again. That's all, folks. Don't forget to update the video. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next one. Doot doot.